Great. Well, with that, I would like to welcome you all to our masterclass on gut health. And congratulations on taking the time and making it a priority to spend an hour with us for the sake of improving your health, and while getting some real answers to your gut issues. So you're in the right place if you deal with issues such as bloating, constipation, loose or frequent bowel movements, or even acid reflux. And so I invite you to pop a yes in the chat if you're dealing with any of these gut issues, even if it's not any other gut issues, even if it's not what I've just mentioned. So there you go. Right. I'm just also just double checking. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the chat. Maybe just the chat at the bottom and have that open because we Dr. Nancy is going to be asking questions throughout the session, and then you can see what our responses are. So there you go. So um, today we are very fortunate to have Dr. Nancy Locke with us, and she's helped hundreds of patients with gut issues. She received her Doctor of Chiropractic degree in 1986, and for the last 20 years has applied her advanced training in nutrition and holistic health to work with patients in her office in Corvallis, Oregon, while also raising four children with her husband of 38 years. And Dan and Nancy now live in Montana, where Dr. Nancy continues to work with patients remotely. And upon completing her health and coaching certification last year, and with a focus on gut health, she's now able to help more people through her Gut Reset coaching program. So take it away, Dr. Nancy.
Okay, thank you, Paula. I'd like to welcome you, Karen. I'm glad you can join us. It's good to see you and good to have you here. Okay, so welcome to our class today, and I'm really excited that you're here. I'm really grateful that you've taken the time because we're going to be discussing important keys to understanding the underlying causes of gut issues. And about 45 minutes into the class, thereabouts, I am going to let you know about an opportunity to meet with me one-on-one for a complimentary session to explore further your specific issues. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you what I feel would be valuable for you this evening, and then hopefully you can all stay till the end for that opportunity. Okay. So if you are if you are interested in getting rid of things like bloating and gas, gut pain, constipation, or any other sort of nagging gut issues, you are in the right place. And because I really prefer to address specific symptoms that people are having, if you're able and willing to put in the chat your number one symptom that you would like help with, that would be really great so that I know what symptoms I'm speaking to and I can do my best to um, really zero in on what you're specifically here to try to find out about. So I'll give you all a moment. Okay, great. So, and when I look over, I've got another computer set up so I can actually see the chat. So we've got somebody talking about painful gas. Somebody has a hernia, bloating, and some inflammation. Okay. All right. Well, the world does keep changing, and unfortunately, we're up against more and more toxins in our air, our water, and our food than ever before. And we're bombarded at the same time with conflicting information. And for many of you that maybe you have pursued medical doctors, you really have not been given any answers. They have actually failed to address the root cause of your gut issues, and in some cases, really not provided you with any relief at all. So if you'd like to share in the chat, if anybody has kind of reached a dead end where they've sought care and have not received any kind of relief, that would also be good for me to know. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Okay. So it seems like all of you are here because you are tired of dealing with your gut issues. I know I was real tired of dealing with mine, and I'll be sharing my story in just a moment here. And it really is debilitating. Okay. So somebody said they've been trying. Yeah, some things make you worse. People don't want surgery, want other options. Absolutely. Okay, thank you for sharing. So let's think about something for a moment. Okay, so I'd like you all to have an opportunity. So we've explored, the symptoms that many of us have dealt with and many are dealing with, the bloating, the pain, the embarrassing gas, constipation. I know many of my patients have the opposite. They're going to the bathroom all the time. It's quite annoying. It takes them forever to leave the house in the morning. So we know how debilitating that can be and how much that can affect our lives. I'd like to invite you for a moment to think about, just imagine how your life would be if you were like these ladies in the picture here on this slide, enjoying some beautiful food and happy, and you are completely free of bloating, gas, constipation, gut pain, heartburn, any of these things, any and all of these things that you may be dealing with. How would your life be? So just take a moment and think about how much more time you might have, how much more you may be able to enjoy socializing, going out with friends, going to restaurants, and just being able to live a normal life, exercise because you felt like it and you were comfortable in your body. So I just want to give you that glimpse into what it can be like as I share with you how I've actually helped a lot of women over the last 20 years in my practice overcome all of these kind of issues. So, okay, so somebody's saying they'd love to feel comfortable in their body again. I hear you and I feel you because I'm just going to share with you now my story as I know how miserable that can be. So just going to show you this slide for just a quick moment. This is me several years back with my daughter in my office. I had an office for over 20 years where I saw patients in person. My daughter Jamie, I have four children, three boys and one girl, and Jamie actually worked as my staff in my office for about 4 years. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a little glimpse. I was looking for a picture of she and I, and you know how kids always feel like they have to make funny faces, right? So, so that was my daughter making a funny face. Okay, so now I'd like to share with you how things are for me now. Okay, so I actually don't deal with bloating anymore. I don't have pain in my gut. I can eat more foods now than I have been able to for many years. I have energy. I recently turned 65. I feel better now than I did when I was in my 40s because when I was 36, I had my daughter. So Jamie, who I just showed you, I had her when I was 36 back in 1996. And just a few months after I had her, I started having horrendous pains in my gut. I'd get really bloated. My pains would literally go into my back, where I'd have to curl up in bed. I had two toddlers, my little boys, and it was really miserable. I was afraid to eat anything. I didn't know how I'd ever be able to go out of town, let alone travel to the East Coast to visit my family. And it was pretty darn miserable. And here I was, I had been a health practitioner already for quite a while, knowing about health, thought I knew about nutrition, and yet I was having all these problems and didn't know what to do for myself. So even in my position, I needed to reach out. I needed to find somebody who can help me, somebody to give me some guidance, some direction to help me figure out which foods were actually giving me problems, help actually the different organs and glands in my digestive system that were not serving me well. And this person gave me all this direction and gave me the support and the guidance that I needed in order to feel comfortable in my body and feel confident once again that I was able to live a life and eat food and no longer have problems. So I've been through this, and it really motivated me even more so to pursue um, a path of helping people getting to the root cause. Because way back when I was in high school, I thought I wanted to be a medical doctor, and that was the trajectory I was on. And then I got more interested in natural health, and it didn't feel quite right to go to medical school. I wanted to be able to address the root cause of issues. And so I became a chiropractor because I didn't want to just be a dietitian. No offense to dietitians. That's just not what I was looking for. So I got a great holistic education in chiropractic, which taught me the underlying issue of how to handle underlying issues. It still wasn't enough because oftentimes, and what I found for myself, my neck pain actually was due to some gut issues and some thyroid issues, et cetera, et cetera. And so my specialized training in nutrition actually helped further my passion for helping people in a way that medical doctors were not helping them. Okay, now don't get me wrong, medical doctors are fantastic for what they do. They save lives, they do amazing things in their realm of what they're good at. But when it comes to gut issues, not so much. And as a matter of fact, medical doctors, I recently looked into this and I have some friends that went to medical school. They get less than 20 hours of nutrition in their entire journey, 4+ years of medical training. So while they're great at broken bones and heart surgery and amazing things, when it comes to gut issues, you know, just getting a diagnosis, which is a fancy name for your condition, right, and being prescribed a drug that's going to maybe relieve the symptoms, maybe, while causing some other problems, I don't see that as a viable solution for people. And so I am really committed to helping anyone, and certainly any of you that have joined us tonight in your journey for better health, actually getting to the cause, getting a handle on what your body really needs to fully heal, and working with you through that journey. So, I will be offering at the end of this class, about 45 minutes into the hour before our question and answer, I will be letting you know how you can reserve a 30-minute session with me where we can, at no charge, just complimentary, because I want to be able to get to know you and get to know your situation and find out specifically how I may be able to help you. And if I don't think I can help you, certainly I would let you know that right away. So that's an opportunity that will come up. We'll be giving you the link for that in the chat, like I said, as the class comes to a close, so that you do have an opportunity to meet with me one-on-one. Okay? So the three keys, so this class is called From Bloated to Balance. So the three keys that, let me move off of this slide. Oh, okay. Sorry, I did want to share with you some statistics before the three keys. I added these recently, so I almost forgot. Okay, so here's some statistics on gut issues, specifically in midlife women, right? Because I'm focusing on midlife women because there's a lot of reasons why we end up having issues as we get a little bit older. Okay, so 94% of perimenopausal, menopausal women report experiencing health problems. Okay, so bloating, many of us are here because of the bloating, 77%. Then there's constipation and so on and so forth. Um, Symptoms do get worse during perimenopause and menopause. It's not in your mind, it's not your fault. There's physiological reasons for it that I'll go into in a little bit. And here's some startling information. The bottom line, despite this, only 33% received a diagnosis. Well, The IBS diagnosis, I don't really feel like is that valuable because it's just telling you you have irritable bowel syndrome, which you already know. Your bowels are irritable and it's making you irritable. So it's a little bit of a BS type of diagnosis, in my opinion. 53% of those that sought professional support, 58 found that care was inadequate. Okay, that's not acceptable in my book. Financial costs are astronomical, over 13 billion in 2023, and they're projected that in 2033, $30 billion dollars will be spent on digestive health products and so forth. Okay. And so you see these numbers, it's really kind of crazy how much money is spent. Okay. So the root cause for us women that do deal with some of this really is the hormones can affect your gut. Although there's lots that can be done. I don't deal with hormone replacement, things like that. There's a lot that can be done to help you. So declining in hormones affects your digestion. Um, the microbiome, the good guys in your gut, right? The good bacteria in your gut do get altered a little bit. How quickly food moves through your gut is altered, and it even affects the gut-brain connection, which affects our stress, anxiety, and emotional shifts. So this is why so many women notice their guts get worse during stressful periods. Okay? And actually, a lot of things get worse during stressful periods, and there's reasons for that. Okay, it's very, very expensive. All crazy money being spent. There's disability. People are dying.
Nancy, sorry, can I interrupt you? Do you
Yes.
have some slides? We're not seeing your slides.
Oh my goodness, really? Wow, all this time. Yes, I've been showing slides. Paula, thank you for letting me know.
So I
Why?
wasn't sure if you had slides or not. So from
Oh
yeah,
my
from when you
goodness.
started on after your story.
Okay, so I goofed. Technology is not my strong point. I'm a much better healthcare practitioner than I am. Oh, okay. Am I sharing now?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my goodness. My bad. Okay. Even with two laptops, I didn't realize it. Okay. So this you saw?
Yes, but we didn't see the
Oh,
research.
so
So
when I
from
went
the
back,
research.
I'm sorry. I forgot to go back to my slides. Silly,
Yeah.
silly me. Okay.
But it's
So
but it's okay. We heard that. Yeah.
thank you so much. Okay. So we talked about that. Yeah, these are just a bunch of words. So, all right. Great. So, all right, so let's get into the juicy stuff. No pun intended. We do have lots of digestive juices. Okay, your digestive system is designed to serve you. Okay, our digestive system is very complex. You see my cursor on the screen there, moving around? Can you see it? Okay, so our digestive system has our liver, and then we're back in. Okay, so our liver secretes enzymes. Here's our stomach. Our pancreas secretes enzymes. Uh, our small intestine absorbs all the nutrients. The small intestine is about 15 feet long, so it's a pretty complex system for digesting and absorbing all of our nutrients. And then the colon. Okay, so I just wanted to give you a picture of our digestive system. Okay. All right, so what are the three keys? So I'm using this little three C's. These are the three keys to resolve gut issues and reclaim your life. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about clarity, correction, and consistency. Okay, what is clarity? We really need to have clarity as to what foods do well in our body. Okay. So sometimes you can overcome certain food intolerances, which is what I dealt with. I had a lot of foods I couldn't eat. I had to be really picky about what I ate. And I overcame that by getting very clear on which foods that I needed to avoid for a while. So this is what I do in my paid program when I work with people. I typically do 3 months at a time just so we have chunks of time to monitor things. And so I help people get clear through my food journaling system. I help them get clear on which foods are working well for them and which aren't. Again, oftentimes it's just short term, and other times it's long term, and other times it's not food at all. Sometimes it has to do with the second C, which is correction. Okay, correction of organs. So I conduct a body assessment evaluation with people, with my clients, and that allows us to address any organs that are not functioning optimally. So as you saw in that diagram, we've got our liver, our pancreas, our stomach with all the juices in the stomach, the small intestine, large intestine. There's so much to our digestive system. And as a healthcare practitioner with a lot of training and a lot of clinical experience, I can help identify which organ or glands in your body are not functioning optimally, help to restore them. And I have many different ways that we do that, depending on your specific needs, and then help correct them. Okay. So it may feel like there's certain foods that are not agreeing with you, or it may feel like it's just random. Sometimes it just feels random, and that may be because it's actually one of your organs not serving you well. And then consistency, like when I went through my struggles with my gut health, I really needed someone that I can rely on to help me be consistent with those actions that I needed to take so that I could regain my gut health. So the consistency is the support, the guidance, the encouragement, and helping my clients through, and whether it be working with me or someone else, it's really helpful to have that consistency because we don't always get that from our friends or family members. And sometimes our family members are a little bit sabotaging. They love us, but they want to be able to eat this or that or things that are really not that great for us and we know cause problems. Yet when they bring them into the house and they're just there calling your name, it makes it kind of tricky, right? To resist that. Or when you go out to a restaurant. So all of these strategies of how to how to change habits gradually so that it's not a struggle and it's not difficult and it can be implemented in a way that really works with your life. Those are the sorts of things that I support my clients with. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pause, and I would love if anybody has any questions before I move on. I love to address questions, clear up any kind of confusion. And that works really well in the chat to do that. Or if you really don't like to use the chat and you want to just raise your hand or speak up, we have a small enough group where that would be fine.
I have a question, Dr. Nancy.
Yes.
It's Gina. I'm just wondering how you treat the organs if the organs did need to be helped.
Excellent question. So, several ways. Number one, there are certain foods that are specifically good for certain organs, and I always like to use food as medicine first and foremost. I do also have kind of a little mini health food store at my home office here, and I've been working with whole food supplements for over 20 years. And sometimes we need the more concentrated nutrition. And I have specific whole food supplements that I could recommend specific for each person that may help them with their digestive issues and with the specific organ regeneration.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. And there's a question in the chat from Paula. What if I have multiple digestive symptoms and I don't know where to start? Okay, that is an excellent, excellent question. And what I love about holistic healing, and I'm so grateful that I was led by the universe to embrace holistic healing, is that we don't need to just do one thing at a time. When we look at the body as a whole and we address what are the priorities, what are the main things, oftentimes other things fall into place And when they don't, then we can tweak and work with things as is needed. So working with somebody, working with a coach, a practitioner. I happen to be a practitioner who is a coach, and I'm coaching now so that I can reach out to more people. And that then we can give you direction as far as what's the most important thing to deal with first and foremost. And that works really great for getting people better faster. It's the least expensive way to go when you actually deal with the main problem first, and then you watch how the body starts to heal. So thank you for asking that question. Hopefully that makes sense, and that's a really important point. Okay, I don't see any other questions, so let's move on. Okay, so again, I wanted to give you some keys and some takeaways. So I just wanted to let you know some things that you can do. Even if you don't work with me or anyone else, you may not get as good results, but you can do some food journaling. This is part of what I use in a very expanded, I have a whole system for this. But food journaling, just writing down everything you're eating, it does increase awareness and accountability. The accountability and guidance and coaching really only comes from when you're working with someone and you're sharing that food journal with them. I did that as part of my training, and believe me, I already thought I was eating well, and yet doing that, sending in my food journal to a specific person who I was working with at the end of every week, and them giving me some very helpful, loving guidance, little tweaks, little things here and there, small changes over time is the best way to go. It just really helped me tremendously. And I was surprised. So that's one thing you can do. And that again has to do with the clarity of being more in touch with your body and what's working. So the correction had to do with digestive issues. So that's the second step. You can get your digestive systems and organs and glands evaluated medically. However, oftentimes they're not going to, the medical profession is not going to identify a problem until it's already way into a disease state. And it's way better to identify organs and glands that are just not quite functioning up to par before they take such a deep dive. And so this is something that's really, really important. And I've had experience where in my practice, where I've identified organs that weren't working that well, was helping a patient with it. And they went to their medical doctor and mentioned what I had identified. The medical doctor was so surprised. Like, I don't know how she could have known your kidneys were not doing well because they're so slightly off. And so that's the whole point with holistic and functional type of healthcare is that we are tuned into identifying organs and glands when they're just not quite right and not waiting until it's so bad that then you have to take them out or take some drastic measures. Okay, we don't wait until things get worse. I've heard that over the years. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. Well, keeping an eye on things oftentimes it just means they're waiting until it gets a lot worse, and then you could have surgery for, $40,000 or take some toxic drug. Anyway, I don't want to sound like I'm down on medical doctors because they are great, great, great for what they do great. This is not really a lane that they excel in. We'll leave it at that. And then application of healthy principles long term. So there's lots and lots of things that we can do to work with, your sleep cycle, your stress, your movement, mindset, on and on and on. So many things in the realm of holistic care. Okay. Oh, I skipped one. All right. So I have a couple of testimonials just to show you I really have been working with people. This was Mark, and he used to drive up an hour from Eugene, Oregon. My practice was in Corvallis, and he had horrible bloating. And after just a few months, no more bloating. He didn't even need his prescription medications anymore. So he was a real happy camper. We had Beth. She had some weird gallbladder pain. She didn't even have a gallbladder, but it was still this pain, heartburn, whatnot. And then after coming to see me, she was sleeping great. So here's the thing, like Paula asked, about multiple symptoms. sometimes people don't, my patients wouldn't even tell me that they're not sleeping that great or something else because they've been dealing with it for so long, they just figure they have to deal with it. She came in because of these pains, and as we worked holistic with her, getting her body in balance and helping everything functioning better, working with what she was eating, whatever was required for her, because everyone is different. Not only did the pain go away, and no more digestive issues, but then she was also sleeping well and had so much more energy. Okay, and she was a caregiver actually for one of my other patients, and so that's a very hard job. So she is a very happy camper too. Yep, there's my other slide. Oh, look at that. Okay, technology. All right, let's see where we are. All right. So maybe I'll just stop screen sharing. I apologize for that. My pad is not working right. Okay, I'm going to stop screen sharing. That's just a sign from the universe. It's time for me to stop screen sharing. Okay. All right. Okay, so that I hope that you've gotten something so far, and I would like to hear, just to make sure I'm resonating with all of you that are here, I'd like to hear what you've received so far. What's your biggest takeaway so far? If you could put that in the chat, that would be great. Something I said or something you thought of, something that's the biggest takeaway so far. Food journaling. Yeah, great. Thank you, Paula. Okay. All right. Well, I trust and hope that you've all gotten something so far out of my talk. I want to share. Oh, it's not like I need to set up one-on-one. Okay. Karen, that would be my honor to meet with you one-on-one. Absolutely. And pretty soon here we're actually wrapping up, and then Paula will be putting that link in the chat in just a moment. Okay. So I do want to tell you about a client I had named Sherry. Okay. Sherry was diagnosed with something called gastroparesis. Now, for any of you that don't know what that means, it means that she actually had trouble digesting anything. And her medical doctors told her she just needed to learn to live with it. She was constantly bloated. She was really embarrassed due to terrible gas, and she was really limited as to what foods she can eat. So she was kind of always hungry. And she was only having a bowel movement like once every few days. She was miserable. So we figured out some things together, and she worked with me with the personalized food journaling system, and we did a full body assessment to figure out which organs needed support. And then of course, gave her all the guidance and encouragement and support that she needed. Okay. And so she ended up getting great results that even the specialists told her that were not possible. So we were able to get her some very individualized direction. So she was no longer shooting in the dark, because that can be really scary, not to know what direction to take, not to know which foods you can eat, which foods are actually causing you more of a problem, which foods are making you worse. Okay, so especially when your body is breaking down, you can feel really, really vulnerable. So I'm really proud to say that now she is waking up every morning and she is happily having her bowel movement. She's feeling great, and she's freed up, and she's able to sit down for a meal with people she loves and really enjoy her food. And we love, I don't know about you all, but most of us really enjoy food. And why? Well, besides the taste and, of course, not being hungry and enjoying our food, just being able to sit down and enjoy food with friends and family and connecting with people is a really, really important part of life. So whether you've been diagnosed with something really terrible like gastroparesis or celiac, or maybe you haven't been diagnosed at all, but you know that you've been living with feeling bloated for way longer than that's sustainable for you. I've spent 20 years diving into this, and do understand it in a way that doctors don't. So I'm a DC, a chiropractor, and beyond my chiropractic education, I've spent many years studying and applying the nutrition and holistic healing with hundreds of patients. And so I am dedicated to helping as many people as possible with especially women in midlife with these kind of issues. So if you do identify with any of this and you feel like you would like some further help in this complimentary consultation, and Paula, go ahead and you can go ahead and put in the link for anybody that might have to leave early, the link to schedule. This is a completely complimentary session, one-on-one with me, where my commitment to you is to give you at least a mini plan, even if we decide not to work together, because it's a mutual decision. We give you a mini plan that you could implement that would help you in some way and or an assessment that would help really hone in on what's your major issue and what we may be able to do for you. Okay. Um, Karen wants to know if there's a typical time frame for uncovering the root cause and start seeing progress. That I love that question because the reason why I've been able to do the work that I've done for so many years and feel so grateful and fulfilled by helping so many people is because your body is designed to heal itself. And so while you still have breath and life, your body is still able to heal itself. And I believe that with all my heart and being, and it's been proven to me over and over again, sometimes to my amazement of how people's bodies are able to heal. Sometimes very quickly. Sometimes it takes a while, yet sometimes the body is so anxious for that healing. When we start doing those few things that it really needs, it just kind of like says, thank you, I can do this. Okay. And so I am very committed and I take anybody who decides to work with me, I take your energy, your time, and your potential investment very, very seriously. And I'm committed to providing to you the most undivided attention and support and guidance. I open myself up for people to be able to contact me between appointments because I really value people's health and I really thrive on helping people to be able to get through any difficulties that they may hit along the way. And this is who I am. This is what I've been doing for 38 years, mostly 20 years. The 18 before that, I was on and off raising four children, but I was practicing on and off chiropractic. This nutrition work, though, has been so incredibly valuable that I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity, and I would be honored for the opportunity to sit down with you one on one, get to know you a little bit better, find out what your greatest struggle is, give you some suggestions, and then you and I will figure out together whether or not it's a good fit to work together. My program is a 3-month coaching program, and all the details of it, what we do, how we would do it, when we would meet, what the investment is, I would go over all of that with you in your personalized one-on-one call. Okay, so it's called my gut reset session. Okay, it's a gut reset session, and my program is a gut reset program. So pretty simple and self-explanatory. And so Paula has put in the chat my Calendly link, and feel free to go and click on that right now. You won't lose me if you still would like to stay connected with the Zoom room. You can click on that. You can look and see what day and times may work for you. I even put in a couple of times for right after the class if you're inclined to just jump right in. Otherwise, I left my schedule open for tomorrow, a chunk of time tomorrow. And even Saturday, I set aside some times if that works for you best, because I really prefer to connect with people soon after we've had this time together, while everything is fresh in our minds. We've spent the time together. So I invite you to go ahead and click on the link, reserve a spot, and it would again be my honor to at least sit down with you for that 30 minutes. We'll spend about 10 or 15 minutes of that 30 minutes putting together a mini plan, doing an assessment, and really digging into what you're looking for, because I really only desire to work with you if I truly feel I can help you, because otherwise it's just stressful for both of us. I like there's so many people that need help that it only makes sense for me to work with people that I can really help. And if I can't help you, I have a lot of referrals, a lot of resources of different health practitioners that I would be able to refer